All right, this is Company of Heroes 2. I was a massive fan of its predecessor, a Company of Heroes 1, right? Top down RTS, World War II setting. You get the gist, okay? Its predecessor was stunning, was probably one of my favorite games of all time on PC for a very long time. Um, had great elements of cover, interesting units, interesting sound, varied tactics that you can employ in it, etc. Right? This game, it just it's like using the shadow of the first one only. It's got all this new stuff, inverted commas, and then what does it actually have in it? Like, what am I playing? This is not the same. And I feel so sorry for the people that are playing this game and think that this is Company of Heroes. Like, this is not. This is like the mobile version, like the phone app game version of Company of Heroes. And it is so disappointing. If anyone's seen my other videos, you can see that I'm generally pretty like nice and happy with things, but this is just upsetting. Don't get me wrong, parts of this game are fun and it does have good elements, but just misses it. I used the example before of a shadow, right? It feels like they've got the basic game and the concepts of it, and they've used the shell and they've just gone and turned it into a mobile light. It's honestly, I'm playing this and I honestly feel like this is almost a mobile app game, or it could very well could be, right? This is like World of Tanks, but the mobile version. It's just what it feels like. And knowing what it came from, it's just really, it's annoying, right? It's annoying. And don't even get me started about the worst thing. What seems to be a really frustrating trend that's growing throughout the video game industry these days is the idea of microtransactions. Okay, now for things like this, all right, where it's literally just decals on your tanks or on your inventory, and they all look different. Okay, look, honestly, whatever. If they really want to take a dig at your pocket after you bought the game just for random little squiggles on your tank, and if you actually are willing to pay that money, like I'm not gonna, fine, whatever. It makes no difference. My real problem is this: why on earth are you giving people the ability to pay money to play your game differently and get an advantage over people by simply paying more money? This is so annoying. And all throughout this game, I'm just seeing signs of this. This game is not built to be a game to be enjoyed. This game is built to be a game for you to just spend more money on it. Oh, you lost that match? You better buy a new commander and try a new tactic with this person. Like, seriously, in the first game of this, you got better at this game by playing it, right? You got better at it. You learned how to use your army more effectively. You learned, how to actually play the game. This is like, oh, you lost? How about you try this? It's just, it's insulting. It's insulting. And I really do hope that this like trend in video games goes and shoots itself in the head, because it really needs to. Just to clarify, I'm not talking about DLC races. Okay, like everyone who has made a game, they need the funds. Okay, they put an investment in, they spend their time and effort into that. Okay, I get it. Pay DLC. Okay, sure, whatever. I will admit that the level of these things may not exactly be worth the amount of money that they were charging, at least when it initially came out. Okay, but that, whatever. That's DLC. It brought it out. It's not necessarily microtransaction. My real gripe, as I said, is with the pay bonuses people get. You spend that little extra money, you get the advantage rather than actually using skill or just actually understanding the game. All right, now this isn't just a multiplayer game. Okay, now the single player, how would I explain that? Look, in the first game, all right, Company of Heroes 1, the opening cinematic and the first mission that they have for you in the campaign is captivating. It draws you straight in immediately. In this one, it's just, I understand what they're going for, but I honestly feel like it falls flat. Okay, a lot of the characters just don't have, they don't have depth they're just relying on stereotypes. And even while there were plenty of stereotypes in the first game, they didn't they didn't lack depth. They were still a character. Whereas this is just like a cardboard cutout. Now, again, I'm really sorry to the people that put time and effort into this game, but what were you doing? Were you under time constraints? Were you given a really like cut and dry thing of what you had to do? I don't understand how it went from Company of Heroes 1 to this. I, I just don't get it. Now, had this game been a standalone, by itself, right, didn't have the big boots to fill from the first game, then, maybe I wouldn't be as frustrated with it as I am. But as it is, um, it had a big order to fill, right? And sadly, it hasn't done that. Um, yeah. So basically, moving on from that, much the same like its predecessor, it's got all the control points you got to catch. You got your standard control points. Your munitions, your fuel, your victory points if you're playing that game mode. Um, Fairly standard stuff, right? Um, One of the biggest changes I've noticed in this compared to the first, gameplay wise, is the devolvement into a Zerg Rush game very, very, very fast, right? Gone are the days where you can actually have just a couple of squads, and if you move them and position them correctly, you'll be able to push through for a long time with them, right? If you support them correctly. This, once you meet up, just turns into who can throw more bodies and who can get the better mortar shots really, really fast. Now, this is actually, ironically, a problem that the expansions of Company of Heroes 1 started doing as well and started experiencing. So maybe I'm looking at this from the perspective of Company of Heroes 1 without expansion, right? Maybe this is just what the inverted commas the community wanted. Me, as an ardent fan of this game from when it first, from Company of Heroes 1 when it first came out, that's not what I wanted. And I don't know anyone personally that did prefer that style of gameplay over it. Um, yeah, it just, I don't know. It derails from the fun. It derails from your sense of immersion, I feel. And it's a bit disappointing because, like I said, there's elements in here that could be really, really interesting. One thing I'm talking about elements that will point out, I have noticed a very like I understand again that they're using stereotypes to form the basis of it because you can't necessarily show everything, but the stereotypes that they use in this are very forced, right? I'm not Russian, I'm not German, but either of them might be a little bit upset with what's being portrayed. Um, yeah, but that's an argument for another time, right? One thing I did think was very interesting is the fact that um, I can't see swastikas in this game at all, right? Now, I'm not promoting Nazi ideology here, but what I am saying is this is a game set in a historical period of time, right? And by removing something like that and it's almost like censorship, trying to censor the situations and censor what happened. Um, I feel it's being dishonest and being a bit of a disservice to both sides of the all sides of the conflict really that was World War Two. Again, it just removes immersion. Again, it's just another thing that removes it. Um, yeah, the sound in this, the mortars in this game sound really nice. A lot of the other sound in this game, however, come off as really goofy, especially again compared to its older brother. Um, yeah, I suppose my biggest issue really is just the immersion loss, and yeah, it's disappointing to say the least. While there are definitely fun elements to this game, like the addition of snow and the breakable ice, that's always fun. Um, all up, I just feel that this game has devolved into MOBA territory. It's just trying to catch on to this good old Twitch and to pay to win tactics really for multiplayer rather than actually playing the game to learn it. Um, it's upsetting. I think this game had a lot of potential, and yeah, I'm disappointed with what they did with it. I suppose the next big question is, would I suggest the game? I would only suggest this game if you were 100% a fan of that type of multiplayer. The campaign alone, um, it's not, it doesn't grab you. Okay, it's pretty mild. Um, it doesn't feel like it was the emphasis of the game, and that's fine. It very clearly have focused more on multiplayer for this title. Um, so you'd have to be playing it for that. Okay, so watch some YouTube videos, watch some Twitch streams. If that's the type of game that you want to play, like go for it. I'm not going to rain on your parade. But for anyone who's looking at this title because they really enjoyed Company of Heroes 1, um, I couldn't suggest this. Right? It's not the same game, and it's gone down a path that's just really disappointing. So yeah, let's hope if they do make a new one that they try and get back to their roots. Yeah.